I'm Alex Rennie, co-writer and actor in Awful Nice.
I'm Todd Sklar, writer-director of Awful Nice, and you're watching me exclusively on Screen Dreams.
Exclusively on Viewtopia. Jim?
What's up, stupid?
It's so good to see the two of you together again.
What's that?
Our inheritance.
Nice, we rich, man?
Not quite. We did get the lake house, though.
Originally, myself and Alex Rennie, who's a co-writer and star of the film, and our friend James Ponsold, who's actually a filmmaker as well, the three of us kind of wanted to put a movie together that would be set in Branson, just because it's such a unique and interesting place, you know, the Vegas of the Midwest, if you will. And I mean, it's the nicest, most fun place, if that's your idea of fun. So it's a really horrible place to be angry and immature and sad. We thought that'd be a fun contrast.
We tend to write separately, very separately, even though we are roommates. We write anywhere. We like to write a lot on airplanes. Sometimes we take flights, very cheap flights. So you get like the dollar ones, they used to do that a lot. We would take those and just use those just for writing. And then once you get into the airport, you can get into the Delta Lounge and you can stay there for 24 hours. So you can stay there for a long time. You can buy a $45 flight and use that to get through security right in the Delta Lounge, stay there all day, which is incredible. Free drinks, free food, free everything. They got showers there.
You were gone for 3 hours and you bought beer instead of supplies.
I got supplies in the car. Guess how much that was?
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
$900.
For Virtua Cop?
Yeah, Virtual Cop 2.
We wanted to do something, I think me and Alex both wanted to do something that had to do with sibling rivalry and brotherhood and just, you know, we both have brothers. I have a younger brother who's kind of the fuck up in the family, and Alex is the younger brother in his situation. So we both kind of have a differing opinion on that whole relationship, and I think we wanted to do something that was a very sincere ode to that.
I kind of took over the parts for Dave, the kind of younger loser shithead brother, because that's kind of what I am, and Todd took over the kind of Jim parts because he's the older put together brother. My brother's a lawyer in Syracuse, so obviously I'm the loser shithead brother.
So Dave, where are you living now? Because we keep sending you Christmas cards and you never seem to get them.
Well, I don't celebrate Christmas, which is probably why I'm not getting those. But in regards to where I live, I've been kind of on the road. I've been kind of in and out of places the last couple of years, just for business stuff, a lot of private security things that I've been putting together.
Yeah, he worked at Brinks for 8 months until he accidentally pepper sprayed himself.
So we made this short film that was basically a precursor to the feature, but ironically we shot the short film was made out of the feature, so we actually did them kind of in tandem. We didn't think the feature would work out. We had a producer who left the production a couple days before we started shooting, and it was kind of a big question mark of if the whole thing was going to shut down, if we could just push a couple weeks. We didn't know what was going to happen, and I already had the two lead actors down in Branson with me, and my DP was there, and we just felt like, let's just get a sound guy and shoot some stuff, just so we can maybe get some momentum going. And we stopped after a couple days and turned that into a short film, and then tried to re-prep up for the feature. But the short got into Sundance, which was great, and that gave us a lot of momentum to kind of carry into the feature.
I was really mad during those times. I'm not a big production guy. Todd doesn't usually let me do a lot of that stuff. I'm more of the kind of creative guy and actor. So anytime that I have tried to get into the production side, I've screwed it up horribly. I broke one camera. It was $80,000 one time.
Prepped the whole feature going into the short, so it was like we had 5 months of prep for a 2-day thrown together shoot, but then only had like a week and a half of prep for a 4-week feature shoot right on the heels of it. So it was very interesting to see how they both kind of came together, even though they were done in out of the same ilk.
I knew at that point that things were not going well, but I wasn't very much in the loop, and Todd would kind of lie to me and tell me other things to try and throw me off the trail, because he knew if I figured out, I would try and fix it, like I would call the guy, or I would like try and get a new guy. But to kind of protect the gander from the goose, I was kept mostly in the dark, which I usually like.
Half that house is mine. I'm pretty sure even more than half after the arm wrestling display. I think legally that's like a binding thing.
You're way more interested in the law than I thought you were.
I've been around it a lot.
We actually built a house. Part of the interiors were done in a house that we found down there, and then obviously, without ruining the movie, the house really does get destroyed. So we had to build a house. The rub is, we needed a permit. I don't want to spoil the movie. We needed a permit, obviously, for the end scene at the house, and we got the permit in the wrong county. So the day before we were shooting the kind of penultimate scene in this house where it ultimately is completely destroyed, we had to basically tried to get a new permit, couldn't, had to unbuild the house and then rebuild it the next day. That was fun because that was a thing where like these two people had spent 6 weeks building this house, and then in the matter of 2 days, the entire 30-person crew and our cast, like actors helped out, spent like a whole day unbuilding it and rebuilding it. It was very much, I don't know what the metaphor is, but it's very much a metaphor, I think, for film production.
That's coming out of your huff.
Yes, there was a lot of improv, especially with me and James. Our kind of chemistry was a lot more improv based, and I am not very good at remembering lines, so it was much easier to improvise them, especially if it was a very long piece of dialogue. I would get about halfway through it and I would kind of forget the rest, so a lot of improv was good, but we would start out with a basic outline, like kind of 3 or 4 beats for the scene, and Todd kind of gave me and James the freedom to kind of explore that scene, and as long as we were hitting those beats, that was kind of the way to go.
What business do we have here today?
Signing some papers and picking up some cash.
I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's not exactly in its best condition.
I think we're gonna take these renovations on ourselves.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
Actually, that's a lie.
I can fix that.
Chris, when he read the script, he loved it, and like actually we ended up kind of being like a patron saint to the film before he even came on. He was like giving us notes and advice on like the script, like not his character, but just like general things. It was really, really kind and helpful. And then he only had like 4 days availability, I think, between Man of Steel and like the Jackie Robinson movie. So he actually flew his own plane down to Branson to save 2 travel days, and then like got off the plane and was in character the whole time.
Chris Rennie, A, world's coolest dude, B, world's nicest dude, C, most jacked dude I've ever seen in my life. This dude was so big, he was like hugging a rock. I hugged him when he got there, and I was covered in like fake blood, so I got blood on him. It was really weird. He would show up to scenes that he wasn't in, that I was in, and he would help me out and like talk to me about how to do the scene and stuff like that. It was awesome. It was cool. It was awesome. So jacked, huge. Probably knows karate. I assume he knows karate.
That was the one thing on this movie that there was no problems with whatsoever. Like everybody was like borderline insane, going out of their way to come be a part of it and make it a better movie, which was, I mean, as a director, that's like your dream. That's what you want. So that was fantastic.
So dad? Like dad?
Yeah.
Like our dad.
Yeah, our dad. Who else's dad would I be talking to?
That's nuts.
For a lot of the scenes that ended up inexplicably cut by Todd, where they were written by him and involved me drinking like 14 beers at like 10 a.m. for a scene that originally I didn't think made very much sense, and that Todd wrote, and I did it because I was like, I have to trust Todd. But this scene would make no sense and would be cut for the final cut, and it was just him kind of screwing around with me. So that was, and a lot of scenes where I have to, for no reason, eat a ton of food over and over again, and Todd would make me do like 15 takes of that, and that would get very sick because of that.
Let's do 2 chicken almond dings, 3 of those window specials. I saw a guy eating lo mein tacos, but I didn't see him on the menu.
Yeah, they're on a very special menu
menu.
very special customers.
She's already hooking us up. I like this already.
It's crazy because we're just a bunch of knuckleheads down in Branson making a comedy, but it felt like Fitzcarraldo. Like it felt like Burden of Dreams, where we're trying to get this steamboat up a mountain. Like it really, and I know that's every independent film is, everybody has their journey they have to go through, but this was one of those things of like,
Oh my God, what are you doing? What? You literally have a mouthful of trash right now.
You know what they say, one man's trash, another man's treasure. It feels great. I mean, I feel like I've learned a lot of lessons. I feel like, especially, there were so many different aspects to the film and worked with so many different people. I feel like I learned a lot, especially because I haven't done that many movies, so it was great. I had never kissed a girl on camera. I've kissed a lot of girls off camera, but that was an interesting thing. I remember being very, very nervous about that because I get nervous around girls and talking to them.
To put it all kind of full circle, like the film is very much about 2 guys who have to go to Branson to try to do something very difficult, and for them it's renovate and sell this house and deal with their emotional problems, and the production very much became just a couple of guys trying to do something really difficult in Branson, Missouri, and just every turn a new thing bottoming out. But you just kind of make it through it, and it turns into a happy ending.
Are your pants on backwards?
No, my pants aren't on. Oh, maybe, yeah. I drove here.